Good morning, 2015 JKU. You can see it right here. Great looking Jeep, 2.5-inch suspension lift. The Mickey Thompson Sidebiter rims, but 35-inch Wrangler MTR tires. These are my old tires. And Mike popped the code. His oil pressure is stuck at 99. So to our best guess, the oil pressure sending unit, which is way down on the back of this oil filter cooler assembly, along with another sensor that gives temperature. So we bought a new OEM sensor. So unfortunately, to get at that, we got to take this whole intake off and remove some of this stuff and the upper and lower intake and get down to that unit. We think it's going to go well. Hopefully this solves the problem. Good chance it does. If not, we could be looking at a failed solenoid on the 2-stage oil pump down in the bottom of the pan. Let us hope it's not that. But we're very optimistic. So this should be a fun job. It'll be a good job. Mike's had this thing all apart before. Mike has changed this oil filter cooler assembly because, as you know, the plastic housing warps over time and you end up with a leak and it fills that whole valley up with oil. So he has already changed this. So it should be a good day. Notice the carbon on the throttle body. So Mike has some throttle body cleaner. We're going to clean that out. You can see that the plenum air temperature switch has been disconnected. All of this will get disconnected. All of this up here. Obviously, we just took the air cleaner out. Pay no attention to that. See, I'm just undoing these 10mm nuts right here because this bracket is going to come off. That's underneath this big electrical plug. Get that? So there's another, there's a couple hard ones to get or just one down there?
There's two.
Two?
Why these lines are zip tied to that?
You can see the nuts are off right here. Now way down there, there's some 13mm nuts. And the idea is to loosen this bracket up and slide it this way towards the driver's side. And then when this thing comes off, obviously these studs have to be able to clear. So you can see the electrical's off, this harness right here. Mike's over on this side doing what? The intake bolts, Mike?
Yep, intake bolts.
All the hoses and so forth. So far it's coming out good. Quite a bit of work though to get it where we can take this top portion of the intake off. You'll notice there's usually a big insulator, a foam padding insulator. Mike got sick of that. That must have went when he did the oil filter cooler assembly.
Yeah.
He said to hell with that bitch. So we're getting close. Just got a little bit more to do on this driver's side, I think. Notice the bracket is loose now. You can see it. We loosen those bolts. Now these two nuts right here, 10mm. There we go. Mike's got the 1/4-inch setup right there. We'll get that off. We're just looking to see that we have everything. It's just a bunch of brackets and shit and hoses. It's kind of self-explanatory what you have to do in order to lift this first piece off. And we've been only at it for about 15 minutes and we already got pretty much 90% of it there to take the first section off. All right, so one would assume you got to undo the bottom part. This whole bracket needs to come out then.
Yep.
And let me guess, what size? 10 as well. Yeah, right down there. Seven?
I don't know. There's one.
6 or 7. These were 5/16, I think.
Yeah, 8mm.
They got like washers that hold them in place.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Short ones.
Yeah. Well, isn't the one way far in the back?
It's right down here.
And you got it.
Yep. And
Okay.
there's only 3 of these.
All right.
I think. If my
All right.
memory
So it looks like 7. So let's see if this intake is coming off now. You're clear there. Oh, okay. My bracket here. Hold on. Let me pull this bracket. Okay. It's clear. And there it is. Outstanding.
So there's the one bolt that's a
Yeah.
little hard to get to. I just use a little swivel.
Pretty cut and dry.
So I use
Surprisingly heavy. This piece of plastic is freaking
just this
heavy.
setup, hand
Yeah.
tight, and obviously that's a 10.
Yeah.
You'd use an 8. But on that back one, the only one I had to use a swivel on was that one.
Yep,
And
there
it's
we
not
go.
that bad. You can see it. You just can't quite go straight up. You got to come.
So that first section is off. in about 15 minutes. Now, Mike had recently had this off, as I said earlier, to do the oil filter cooler assembly, which is right underneath here. This next section's coming out as well. But the idea is anytime you open this, you just put new gaskets. So what we'll do is we'll put some rags in there and we'll cover those openings, and then we'll begin undoing the nuts and unplugging whatever we need to for this next section. Okay, 8 mil on these. I'm gonna zoom in on what these bolts look like. There they are right there. See it right there? And there's 8 of them, 4 on each side. You can see that that big electrical harness was disconnected. We're just trying to determine whether or not we can do this without unplugging the coil packs and the injectors.
These are captured too, so
Yeah,
they don't come right out.
so you don't have to worry about them going anywhere. We'll find out here momentarily after we undo these 8 bolts if this intake is going to just lift off, or we may have to unplug the fuel injectors and the coil packs. You can see the coil packs right there, and let me just zoom in on a fuel injector connection. There they are, right down there. See it? See the little red locking tab on them? 3 on each side. All right, so all 8 bolts are loose on the lower intake, and we're just not sure. We're going to try lifting this up momentarily. We're just not sure if we got to, for more flexibility, if we're going to have to unplug the injectors. Probably not the coil packs. You can see that 3-4 inches of flex right there. So the idea would be to lift this up and just slide it over here out of the way, over to the driver's side. So we'll find out. Oh yeah, she's going to lift up. All right, and then we're going to have another set of openings. So we just got to. So the idea, what I've seen, probably this needs to get out of the way. If we can just, yeah. All right, I got the front. What I've seen is this come out. So obviously it needs to, this is going to hit us here, so this bracket.
Lift up on the front again?
Yep. Just got to watch that one bracket.
We got to undo the injector clips.
We do, huh? So
look where the wires come
see.
down. Look at this one right here.
Okay.
So we're going to have
all right, easy peasy, but they got the little red locks on them.
Yep, that 90-degree prick tool.
Yep, let me get that. Little pick tool, 90-degree pick tool on that red cap right there. There we go. Comes up about 1/8 of an inch, and you can squeeze it and unplug it. Tight, you know?
Yeah.
It's tough getting the fingers in there. All right, so at the end of the day, a couple thoughts on this. Definitely undid the fuel injectors. Coil packs, you can see, are hooked up. There were a couple Christmas trees in the back. Once those are released, you can see, I mean, geez, you can take and move this thing. Yeah.
Which popping that.
So those 2 little Christmas trees in the back of the intake were hurting us. So you can see a lot of busted, a lot of chunks of plastic from the, they put this wire loom plastic shit harness on these, and the heat just makes it so brittle. So we'll get a vacuum. We're going to vacuum that all up. But the good news is okay, I'll say a half an hour when it was said and done to strip this down to the oil filter cooler assembly. You can see it right there. I'll zoom in after and show you the actual sensor that we're going to change. Please tell me it looks nice and dry in there, right? As far as
I mean, there's a little oil there. It's probably from the last oil change.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So
I'll get up in there and zoom in.
Yeah, you can see the sensor right there that we're after.
Yeah, so the first sensor at the top that you're seeing is temperature.
This one here.
Yep, that's oil temperature, right? Oil?
Yep, oil temp.
And then the one under...
Coolant. No, I'm sorry,
coolant?
not, it's coolant temp.
Oh, so it's coolant temp on the top, oil pressure on the bottom.
Oil pressure on the bottom.
We are changing oil pressure. But to get to it, we probably need to unplug. That probably has a red lock on it. Probably need to unplug that sensor.
I don't know. It's at an angle. We might be able to leave it.
Okay.
Let me get a vacuum.
Yeah, we'll start by
plug up the.
Yeah, I'll get more rags. Okay, just taking a couple minutes. This was, really no big deal. It came apart quite easy. We'll clean up the machined block here. We'll clean that all up nice. Most of what we found for debris, I'm going to shine on this harness. Here's another Jeep flaw. So they put a wire loom harness, a cheap corrugated plastic that gets so brittle. And think about it. This is an area that basically just gets a little bit of driving vibration, and it was just completely filled with those chunks of plastic. See it? So, but anyway, vacuumed that up pretty good. Once again, we'll look at the sensors right there. So the first sensor, coolant temperature right at the top. The one underneath it that we're going to change with a new OEM part is oil pressure sensor. And there is the infamous oil filter cooler assembly. Now I could be wrong, but Mike, you put the aluminum body one on, right? You put the Dorman?
Yes.
Okay, so this is an up.
Yes, that's a
Yeah,
Dorman.
so Mike put the upgrade on here.
This is where they fail, right in here.
Yeah, so any
This is plastic coming up.
yeah,
the neck.
so any of us JK guys, sooner or later, this is just going to be a realization that you're going to be doing this to your Jeep and changing this thing out. But you know, it's not the end of the world. But look at that; it is a strange. That thing is way down there in the valley. So there we go. Fuel rail is still hooked up, no problem. Injectors are disconnected. That definitely has to be done. They have little red locks on them. Could not get them with your thumb. Had to use a pick tool. They're in there really, really tight. But once that red lock is released, just squeeze the electrical connector and it pops right off. So, not too bad.
3 essential parts right here. Maybe not that one. That was left over from the other day.
That was left over from the other day.
So I went to my local Jeep dealer, and he didn't even need my VIN number. I told him what I was doing. I was after this switch. So original Mopar part. There's the number. They have in stock. We'll open it up right here for you so you can see what they are. There should be 12 O-rings. I'll call them O-rings. There's a bunch of lower ones. There's upper ones. I might have those backwards, but either way, you get the idea.
Yep.
In this bag. And
Nice.
that's the number they gave me.
Yeah, there it is. That's your OEM. Sad to say, it says made in China. That's a freaking shame.
The other thing, I dug through my toolbox.
Oh,
I had an oil pressure switch socket that fits that.
That's going to be a big score. What size is that?
Oil pressure switch socket.
So it's just completely unique.
I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, just a squeeze connector on it. There it is, right there. So that came off pretty easy.
It's supposed to have a lock.
So you're going to try to get that socket over there without getting that top one disconnected.
I'm not going to try. Yeah. I'm going to do it.
Okay. So there you go. He's going to keep the upper one connected. Thinks he can get that socket over the oil pressure sensor. Down in the bottom. Way down low in the valley. Hey,
does that have rounded corners?
That could be a song.
Hopefully this socket fits it.
Yeah, you got some lines down there in the way. Oh, you are so close. You're on it. Yep. Nice job. 3/8, right?
Yep.
Yeah, one would think a little bit of oil will come out of there. We'll see. So,
okay, she's still.
So you can see you got some insulated lines down on the bottom underneath it, which make it a little bit difficult to get the socket on it. But he's on it.
I would tell anybody to check this harness too, because I've seen other videos on YouTube, substandard, not up to this quality, where guys have had problems with this harness. Apparently, it's a replaceable part.
Okay,
I
she's
don't know
out.
where it goes. It comes up here somewhere.
Let's take a peek at that shitty sensor right there. There it is. Yeah. There it is, huh? Wow. All right.
So there's no oil in the connector. So
out with the bad, in with the good. Let's do it. Do I need to get in there and do that for you?
You might have to.
All right. Just gonna put a little dielectric grease on there to kind of help out. Obviously, it protects the connection, but it also make it come apart much better. All right, so we'll look at the lower. This is the lower intake. I'll look at the gaskets. Gonna take a pick tool, pop them out. Self-explanatory. Put the new ones in. Easy peasy. Okay, took about 15 seconds to put 6 new gaskets on this lower intake. They have these little, we didn't notice any type of like top or bottom. They seem to be exact no matter how you put it in. But you'll notice those little detents. I'll try to zoom in on a little detent right there. So you just push them into those detents, have friction, and that kind of holds them in place in the grooves. Meanwhile, Mike's got a little Scotch-Brite, and he's just trying to clean up that intake a little bit. It wasn't bad. He's just trying to dress it up a little nice, so we got a nice, clean, dry surface where we're gonna mate this lower intake onto the block. All right, so since the last video, the intake is sitting on there. We followed the pattern. It's a zigzag pattern. I have the diagram on my phone. 106 inch-pounds we put on all of them. Then we plugged in the fuel injectors, put the locks on them. Mike's putting a piece of hose on the back of the driver's side valve cover. Very nice.
This went to the air filter. This is the breather hose.
Yeah,
so I think we can just set it for now.
Yeah, I think the next thing we're going to be doing is taking these next 6 gaskets out. Mike's putting some dielectric on this plug. And then we'll take these 6 old gaskets right here out, put the new ones in, and then we'll be prepped in pretty good shape to install the upper intake. So not bad. Not bad at all. You just take a pick tool. Look at this. You just get underneath it, and you can take your... You get underneath that and you can take your finger and just get the gasket right out. Yeah. And Mike, I'll let you put them in. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, again, these are, well, at least the ones from Mopar. Some of them I've seen where the little bump is only halfway, and that little bump is there to hold it with friction into the little channel.
Nice, yeah. Wonder about your cam sensor. There's one on each valve cover towards the firewall, and here it is right here. And what it does is it reads a wheel, a magnetic wheel on each cam. So this cam on this side obviously is the intake, and then the cam on the outside is the exhaust, and it reads both of them at the same time. So you have one on this side and you have one over on the the passenger side.
So hey, show this while you're there. I never realized this until just now. See the recesses there?
Yeah.
There's one there and there's one back there, and there are actually dowel pins.
So you got a little dowel
here
pin
and here.
That locks it into place.
So that'll make this thing drop right in there, and you should feel it settle down. You don't want to break it. Make sure everything's in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm holding that one hose out of the way. How'd that feel?
Not in yet.
Oh, I see why. Yep, right over here.
I got the bolts there.
Yeah.
No, I got to come forward. It's too far back.
Yeah. And I'm just going to hold this bracket out of the way.
Okay.
Okay, that's nice.
All right, that's in.
Really?
Yep.
All right, so the key is you'll know when you get it, because obviously those 2 studs need to line up through that bracket. Now this bracket in the front where these studs were, I took it off. Here it is right here. Then we'll put that on.
That was actually an easy one to take off.
Yeah, no big deal. But the nice thing now is these air plenum bolts are lined up nice, and Mike's just doing them in by hand.
Actually, I took them out by hand too, but they don't have a lot of torque to them. It's plastic. It's almost like a wood screw going into a plastic lower. There's no brass threaded, 6 mil insert, so you don't want to over tighten it for sure. Yeah, they do give you you said there's a torque spec there, right? 7 to 9
NM.
Newton meters.
Newton meters.
So we're going to have to look that up in inch pounds to use my...
I have the diagram for it. 89 inch-pounds. Mike's doing the last bolt right there. There's 7 of them on the upper intake. Okay. So we got to tighten up our brackets. We got some nuts to put on, some hoses. So this will be kind of fun, and generally speaking, should be fairly easy. So we'll start putting some of these hoses on and do some reassemble. I got some nuts that go back there. I got some nuts that go on this bracket. These 2 10 mil need to be tightened up. So that's where we are right now. We're on the home stretch. Really not bad at all. You can see some of the electrical. All the Christmas trees go back in, self-explanatory where they go. Mike's putting the air plenum in on the throttle body. 2 10-millimeter bolts up there. Oh, the radiator hose is missing. The drain hose goes right here.
Oh, it's right here. Yeah, it's just got to come out.
Nice.
You got to go back and...
What is it that you're looking at?
Right now we're reading 0 PSI oil pressure.
That's
Before
great.
it was reading 99.
That's already an improvement.
All right, we're clear?
Yep.
Right? I didn't do anything with check engine light.
All right.
Why do we have a skip though?
Huh?
We got a skip. Maybe it went away.
No, I would figure that because of everything that we had apart and all. All right, so the good news was he had 0 PSI on the oil pressure. Before it was just completely pinned and stuck at 99.
A race successful. I'm going to start it when you're ready.
Yep.
Clear?
Yep. Yep. And it's going to come down. When you let this thing come down to normal idle, it'll take about 30 seconds.
Yeah, 87. Keep dropping. 85. Looks good. It's not shaking.
It does. No, not shaking at all.
We'll drive it to Tony's.
Yeah, good call.
Road test it.
Yeah, road test it. Yeah, it's almost at, I think it goes even just a hair lower than this. What do you got there?
79, 78.
77, perfect. Wow, I bet you were there. Yep. Well, that's encouraging. Awesome.
Yeah. Fantastic.
All right, we're letting it warm up, but seems really good. We're gonna take it over to Tony's, pick up Dave's big rig. That way we can road test it, but I don't know, maybe barely 2 hours, start to finish. Not bad at all.